we have seen that solid salt does not conduct electricity. So solid NaCl does not conduct electricity, so the bulb does not glow. Why does it not conduct electricity? This is because the sodium ions and chloride ions are strongly attracted towards each other by electrostatic forces of attraction, so the ions are not free. But when we take salt solution, what happens in salt solution? In salt solution, the sodium ions and the chloride ions, they are separated. So what happens? We see that the negatively charged ions, they migrate towards the positively charged metal rod, and the positively charged ions, they migrate towards a negatively charged metal rod. So when this happens, there is flow of electrons. Since there is flow of electrons, electricity flows, and we see that the bulb glows. Even in case of molten NaCl, now in this case we have solid NaCl, when we heat it, when we heat solid sodium chloride, we see that it changes into the molten state and the bulb glows again. This shows that molten sodium chloride also conducts electricity. Why is that so? Because in molten sodium chloride, again the ions, sodium ions and chloride ions, they separate out. So for ionic compounds, since sodium chloride is an ionic compound, so for ionic compounds, they form ions in the aqueous solution or in the molten state. So ionic compounds, they tend to form ions in the aqueous solution or in the molten state, and this process is known as dissociation. That is, the ionic compound dissociates to form ions. Now let's look at covalent compounds. There are two types of covalent compounds, non-polar covalent compounds and polar covalent compounds. Let's start with the non-polar covalent compounds. So for example, we have Cl2. Cl2 means Cl bonded by a single covalent bond to another Cl atom. In this case, the shared electrons are equally shared between the two atoms. In this, both the Cl atoms have equal electronegativity. They are equally shared between the two chlorine atoms. So there is no separation of charge in this Cl2 molecule. So in this case, even if we add water, so oxygen is slightly negative charged and hydrogen atoms are slightly positively charged. So even if we add water, since there is no separation of charges in this compound, so we see that no reaction takes place. That is, the water molecule cannot separate the two chlorine atoms. But what happens when we take a polar covalent compound? Let's take HCl. In HCl, the shared pair of electrons are slightly more attracted towards the chlorine atom. This is because the chlorine atom has greater electronegativity, so it tends to attract the shared pair of electrons. That is why chlorine atom gets a slightly negative charged and hydrogen atom becomes slightly positively charged. So now in this case, when we add water, since there is separation of charges, so on adding water, the two ions separate out. That is, H plus separates out and Cl minus separates out. But H plus ion is not stable, so it goes and attaches itself to the oxygen atom. So in this case, we form H3O plus and the chloride ion is separated out. So we see that in case of polar covalent compounds, there is separation of charges. So on adding water, the two ions separate out. So for covalent compounds, only polar covalent compounds, they form ions in the aqueous state. They do not form ions in the molten state. Only in the aqueous state, the polar covalent compounds, they form ions. This is because in polar covalent compounds, there is separation of charges. So on addition of water, the two ions separate out. And when polar covalent compounds, they form ions, this process is known as ionization. This is because the polar covalent compound ionizes to form the ions. So this process is known as ionization. So we get the substances that conduct electricity in the molten or in the aqueous state, they are known as electrolytes. They can be strong or weak depending on the extent to which they dissociate or ionize. So electrolytes are the substances which conduct electricity. Similarly, non-electrolytes are the substances that do not conduct electricity, whether in aqueous state or in molten state. So let's take an example. When we use sugar solution, we see that the bulb does not glow. That is, there is no passage of electricity. So is it a strong electrolyte, weak electrolyte, or is it a non-electrolyte? Since it is not conducting electricity, so this means that sugar solution is a non-electrolyte. Now let's take salt solution. Salt solution, we see that the bulb glows. This means that salt solution is leading to the formation of ions which conduct electricity. Therefore, salt solution is a strong electrolyte. So is sugar a strong electrolyte? Sugar in molten state or in the aqueous state does not conduct electricity. Therefore, sugar is a non-electrolyte and it is not a strong electrolyte. So we have seen so far that ionic compounds, they form ions in the aqueous state or in the molten state. For covalent compounds, only the polar covalent compounds form ions in the aqueous state, and this process is known as ionization. How do we remember this? The ionic compounds do not ionize. They undergo dissociation, and the polar covalent compounds, they undergo ionization.